I am so delighted because we are finally making maple syrup. This is something my husband and I have been really excited about and wanting to do for a very long time, but with all the other projects on the homestead, getting everything cleared up, getting rid of the trash that the previous owners put over the whole 40 acres, taking down old buildings, it just isn't, building our cabin, it just isn't something that has been real for us. So we are finally getting around to it. We are so lucky. Our land is utterly gorgeous and it has a huge variety of wildlife and trees. We have a ton of deciduous, we have all kinds of coniferous, and we do have a lot of maple. We have many different variety. We have some silver, some sugar, and some Norway for sure, but we just have a ton of them. Since it's our first year, we're only going to be tapping 12 trees, but in our meanderings we've counted, when we've been paying attention, at least maybe 50. The one issue is that they are scattered throughout the forest. Some of them are really close to the cabin. I'm only about 20 feet away right now, but some of them are on the very far side. We have a little bit of a loop that's fairly easy to make. So we tapped 4 towards the river. We've tapped another 6 up a little bit near the front of our homestead property. And now we are finishing off the day with the 2 big, beautiful maples right by our cabin. I want to show you the process we're using to actually tap the trees. And then in a future video, I will show you the awesome evaporator that my husband built, and we'll actually go through the process of boiling the sap down to turn it into maple syrup. There aren't a lot of tools required to tap your trees. The first thing you'll use is a little hammerish tool. It is dual purpose. The first time you're going to use it, it's got this sharp edge right here, and you're going to use that to pull off some of the outer bark so that you can get in and start drilling with your drill. We use a hand drill, and this is a 7/16 bit, and you're going to put it into the tree 2 inches. After you have drilled your hole, you're going to want to put in something called a spile, and that is going to help the syrup flow out. Spile looks like this. This end goes into the tree, and then the syrup is going to pour out right here. So you tuck this into the hole that you made, and then you use the hammery thing the second time, and you're going to use this to gently tap this into the tree a little further. You know, your bucket may be even 25 pounds when it's full of syrup, so you really need to be able to hold this on really steady and tight. Of course, next comes your bucket, so you're just going to go ahead and hook this onto your spile, and the final part of the process is getting on your lid so that excess debris doesn't pull in. So you're just gonna, got a little piece of metal, you'll slide that through here. The spile's here, so you just tuck that through the spile and goes all the way through. There are other ways to tap trees, and so you could do, instead of a bucket, you could do a bag. Those are something that a lot of people do nowadays. You could also do actually like a tube system, so if you're doing, you know, a commercial or a really large operation, you don't have to come out and collect stuff. It's actually going to flow where you want it. And there may be different variations of how deep you have to go or the size of hole you have to make. So if you're going to be doing a different way, please make sure you research that and you're taking the proper steps to do it whichever way you decide. So to get through some of this outer bark, like I said, I'm going to grab this. Get a little bit of that away so I can start drilling my hole. Again, this is a 7/16 bit, and I've got it marked 2 inches in. I've already got a lot of sap running over my bit here. I already have a ton of sap running down the tree, so I want to get my spile in right away. But instead I'm talking. Tuck my spile in. And now the second use, I'm going to hammer just on the top here. Make sure it's in nice and tight for that bucket. Got it hanging. And I have maple syrup running into my bucket. And now we have 12 trees tapped. The maple syrup season can run anywhere from a couple weeks to several weeks, and so what we're gonna do is check on these guys every single day. We will bring the sap over to our tote so that we can keep it all nice and cool and stored in one place until we have enough to actually make our syrup. So we'll keep an eye on these guys, we'll keep checking back, and I hope that you check back for our next video where I will show you the cool evaporator that my husband made. We'll talk about the actual process of making maple syrup. And as you wait for that video, don't forget to hit that subscribe and that follow button so you know as soon as it comes out. And thanks for spending time with us here at the Minnesota Homestead.